Have you ever forced a smile when everything inside you was tightening into a scream? Ever softened the sharp edges of who you are just to keep the peace? Ever dimmed your own confidence so someone else wouldn't feel overshadowed? If you're nodding even a little, then stay with me. I know this path, intimately. I know what it feels like to shrink yourself for the comfort of people who barely know you. And by the time you reach the end of this, that part of your life will be done. The people around you will start doing what you used to, compressing themselves, performing, adjusting. Because that old version of you, the one who bent and twisted to seem easier, was never the real you. It was a survival costume. And starting now, you're finished apologizing for existing at your full height. They never meant harm, the ones who taught you to dilute yourself. It wasn't malicious. It came from family, teachers, friends, the culture around you. They preached politeness. Be agreeable. Be pleasant. Don't stir conflict. Don't make anyone uncomfortable. They told you, you're too intense, as if depth was a flaw. Just relax, as if your seriousness was dysfunctional. Go with the flow, as if blending in was the ideal. Little by little, without noticing, you believed them. You decided your natural gravity was a problem, that your quietness was awkward, that your refusal to pretend was somehow broken. So you tried to fix it. You practiced being lighter, softer, more bendable. You mastered polite laughter, small talk with no substance, agreeing with ideas that made you feel hollow. And the cruel twist? It worked. People liked you more. Interactions got smoother. You blended effortlessly. But something essential inside you started to thin out. That internal voice that whispered while you played this role, this isn't you. The exhaustion after social situations wasn't from people, it was from acting, from looking in the mirror afterward and feeling like you'd been temporarily erased. I know that ache, and I'm telling you with absolute clarity, that era ends now. Understand something essential. Authentic power is quiet. The loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest. They're usually the most uncertain. Real strength is understated. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need defense. It simply exists, steady, grounded, immovable. You've seen this before. Someone walks into a room, barely says a word, but everything subtly shifts. Not because they're performing, because they carry weight, substance, a presence that makes others rethink their own behavior. That isn't charisma, it's alignment. And it only develops when you stop begging for permission to be yourself. Let's talk about approval. Approval is addictive. Every laugh you earn, every nod you receive, every compliment, tiny hits of validation that feel good for a moment. And like any addiction, it demands a price, your integrity. You maintain approval by molding yourself into whatever is most acceptable. You become a mirror. And mirrors don't have identities, they only reflect. I've watched people live their whole lives like this, always adjusting, always reading the room, never anchored. And when everything quiets and they're alone with themselves, they hardly recognize who they are. They never stopped to meet their own spirit. Don't let that be your fate. Let me show you what reclaiming yourself looks like in everyday actions, moments you'll recognize immediately, because something inside you already knows this is who you're meant to be. Not laughing when something isn't funny. It sounds small. It's not. Most people laugh automatically, socially, to show friendliness. But people with internal alignment only laugh when something genuinely deserves it. When everyone is laughing and you stay still, the entire atmosphere shifts. People become aware of their own performance. One person's authenticity exposes everyone else's pretending. That's influence. Speaking only when you have something real to say. Most people talk compulsively because silence scares them. They talk to fill space, to be noticed, to avoid feeling irrelevant. But those who speak with intention, they're remembered. Every word carries weight. Their sentences linger. They're not forgettable noise, they're clarity. Not rushing to be accepted. You are no longer living in a world where approval equals survival. Desperation repels what you seek. Hunger for acceptance leaks through your body language. But when you walk into a space without forcing connection, everything changes. People feel drawn in, curious, attentive, not because you're trying, but because you aren't. Staying calm when provoked. People will test you. A comment that stings, a small jab. Most people react instantly, exposing their emotional instability. But those with internal grounding don't flinch. They absorb the moment without surrendering their center. That stillness is more powerful than any comeback.
Holding eye contact. Not aggressively, just steadily. Most people break it first because true presence is uncomfortable. But when you hold it for a moment longer than expected, it communicates something words never could. I'm here. I'm grounded. I'm not intimidated. Being at ease with silence. Silence is not emptiness. It's depth. Most people panic and fill it. But if you can sit in silence calmly, you send a message. I don't need to perform for your comfort. That's rare and unforgettable. Leaving when you're done. No lingering, no over-explaining, just a simple exit. People notice it, they talk about it after. Because most people stay out of fear, but you move on your own timing. That signals self-respect. Saying no without a speech. A real no is simple. No, I'm not available. Silence afterward. No guilt, no apology. Strong people guard their energy. Weak people over-explain their boundaries. Choose strength. Here's what you must prepare for. When you start living this way, not everyone will be happy. You're breaking an unspoken social agreement, the agreement that everyone will perform together. Your stillness disrupts their script. Some will try harder to win your reaction. Some will resent you. Some will label you things that make them feel safer, cold, distant, too serious. Let them. The people meant for you won't be threatened by your authenticity. They'll recognize it. You can't fake this. You can't pretend to be grounded. Real presence comes from internal work, consistent, patient, disciplined work. How? By mastering your emotional landscape, creating a gap between emotion and reaction, feeling everything but choosing your behavior. This skill alone changes your entire life. By respecting yourself as deeply as you respect others. No more speaking to yourself like an enemy. No more abandoning yourself to maintain harmony. By building boundaries like gates, not walls that trap others out, but lines that protect your peace and define what's allowed near you. By choosing long-term stability over short-term relief. Every time you avoid reacting impulsively, every time you resist the urge for validation, every time you choose stillness over emotional outbursts, you strengthen your core. Prepare for what's coming. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. People will notice you've changed. They'll search for the old version of you. Let them search. They won't find it. Some people will fade away. Good. They were attached to your weakness, not your essence. And once they're gone, new people, your people, will move toward you. But the biggest shift will happen internally. One day you'll wake up and realize the noise inside you has softened. The fear of judgment has loosened. The pressure to perform has fallen away. And in its place, a quiet, durable peace. Let me leave you with this. You've spent enough of your life being digestible, predictable, easy. That chapter ends now, not because you're becoming harsh, but because you're returning to your actual self. From now on, you protect your peace like it's oxygen. You speak only with intention. You move with purpose. You react to almost nothing. You stop chasing because you don't need to. You become the person who shifts a room not by volume, but by presence. The most impactful person in any space is never the one trying to be noticed. It's the one who doesn't need to be. That's who you are now. Step into it.